First, I'm starting off with just a basic background wash using Serpentine Genuine. It's a Daniel Smith watercolour, and it has a nice granular effect where the colours separate to sort of reddy brown and green. And it's a nice light colour. I think it might be a staining colour too. I've got two other colours. I'm not 100% sure if I use them or not, but this one here is Moonglow, also by Daniel Smith. It also separates into different colours. And the Imperial Purple by Daniel Smith again. I'm a bit of a fan of their watercolour range. And here I'm using just some shells that were from a dinner, and I just find them very convenient, and there were lots of them. Yeah. And here I've got a little cellar of salt. I like putting it in this little thing here. Makes it a bit easy to access the little crystals. So I go from something really fancy like this to an old ice cream, not ice cream, a milk plastic container which I cut off the top and kind of melted the edges, and which I found very useful for using as a watercolor bucket. I've also got this one, which it's by Faber-Castell, I think, and it compresses down, but I won't show you that because there's water in there. And here's a couple of brushes. Wasn't sure which ones I might use, so I've got this one to cover the area with water, and this one also to do like patches of color. This one to do more detail, and this one I'm not sure. I think I'll use it to flick with. So there you go, and we shall start. So wish me luck. It's always a nerve-wracking experience when you do this for the first time. So here I've printed out my image, which originally was done on Dura-Lar, Matte Dura-Lar paper. I scanned it and printed it onto some watercolor paper. The printer was having a bit of an issue, so I've got this double edge, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to use that, but I thought it kind of goes with that mystical feel. So we'll see how it go. I mean, I can always print out another one if it doesn't work out. So we just cover the surface with water. Just make sure it's all evenly covered. So this helps the paint to go all over the surface. Just a note, sometimes when I'm painting, I find it difficult to multitask. So if you've got any questions that I missed answering, if you've got any wondering what I'm talking about, feel free to comment and let me know what your thoughts are. So I like to bend down, I don't know if you can see me here, and see at an angle if I can see how wet the surface is, because some areas might be a bit flooded, some areas not so much, and yeah, you kind of want it to be even to have an even overall effect. So here we go with the mop. I think that's what it's called. Well, it's called a sky wash, but anyway, it's like a mop. So I've got the green. I'll just put some water on that, and you want it kind of very wet. So, and you want a rich pigment, so you've got a nice concentrated effect, because it tends to lighten as it dries. Oh yeah, I found the ridges on these shells to be really excellent for draining the color back, so you can get a nice good scrape on the edge. I believe master artists from the past, they used to use shells a lot for their paints, so it's a good effect. So oh, there we go. So I started. So we'll just dab now and see how we go. Like I said, it's very nerve-wracking. So for this, I kind of had an idea of like she's kind of like a forest witch. So there's a lot of green dappled light in the painting. So just dab, dab. And now, because we might want to do some smaller flecks, just wash that off. We'll get the nylon brush and get some of these. Fill it up, fill the bristles up, and then hopefully this will work with the flecks. And we just flick it on. Now you can see some of the edge of the reddish brown coming out here, separating from the green gold kind of color. Well, here we've got an edge, type edge. Be nice to have more of that effect, but I tend to not do that, so I need to practice that a bit more. Now, I might introduce these other colors. I always get a bit nervous, you know, it doesn't matter how long you've been painting, you can still get quite nervous about these things. Let me start something off. So I'm not going to use as much of the purple as I did of the green. So just wet. And I'll keep the darker colors towards the edge, because I like to sort of bring the focus in on the witch. It's okay if it splatters. It's all kind of experimenting. You kind of got to let go with watercolors. If you're holding on too tightly to your ideas, you're going to get disappointed because things will happen that you don't expect. And you got to work with it. It's like life. You get problems in life and you got to work out how to deal with them. The same goes with watercolors. And sometimes the best results can happen when you don't plan them. So I might flick that a little bit. Oops. Yeah, okay. So the idea is that the witch is mixing something alchemical, I suppose you call it, alchemy. Don't know what the term is. So the fluids will be mixing in and creating this kind of brighter light. Now we'll go in for some of this purple. Not sure if it's going to work. I'll keep it to the edge. Keep everything to the edge. Let it all push in. So do the same thing. Dab. Paintbrush. Doesn't matter if there's a bit of green on there because it's all going to mix in anyway. So there you go. I really like this color. It's imperial purple. Reminds me of the ancient Romans. Alright, I'm going to flick this a bit more than the others. Yep. Oh, maybe I'll get the other brush. Because the bristles are too soft to create a nice flick. Of course. Oh, you're going to get a bit messy, so just let it go. And let it be. Ah! There you go. There's some purple that I didn't really expect to go in that area. So you've got a dot up there and dot up there. I don't know, it could work. Could be a disaster, but I'm going to try to make it work. The trick is not to let watercolor dictate, well, scare you. Don't let it scare you. Just got to be bold with it. It's only water and pigment. There you go. Yeah, let that be now. I'm going to let that dry. One more thing I might do. It's a bit fancy. That's what I showed you the salt for. Is I'm going to drop some salt in there. Creates a nice sort of dappled effect. So where the colours are, they'll be pushed away by the salt or absorbed. One of the, I can't remember which way it goes, but anyway. Haven't had my morning coffee yet. Oh, there we go. So just drop it in, just randomly. Some areas might be too wet to actually have any effect. You put some around their faces. So this is a nice sort of flaky salt that breaks up into different sizes, so you don't get just small bits and big bits. You get a variety, which I like. There's Kelly McKernan who used this quite a bit and recommended this type of salt for this kind of effect. If you don't know Kelly, you should. She's an awesome watercolorist. Watching her work and the way she uses her colors has really encouraged me to push my use of color more in watercolors. So you see these flecks? I really like that effect. Looks like they're little bits of magic or something dropping off. Now it's really hard not to keep going with the salt, but you gotta hold back a bit. And you can always do another layer and apply more salt. So there we go. There's a little demonstration for you. Hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for visiting.